they decide that the shape comes from, you know, the designer talking, or VPLP talking to us about what we think is important and what we don't think is important. So they look at 20 hulls and analyse those hulls, and the one that comes up with the best answers, maybe the lowest drag or the highest stability, or then that's how they get chosen. So it's an important part of it, and obviously it's the biggest part of the boat, but the reality nowadays is it's not going to be in the water very much. So I think over time it's going to be less important than it ever was.
We're not making the same demands on the hull as we have in the past to get stability from it. So you're going to start to see hulls that are different to we'd have seen 8 years ago, 5 years ago on the last generation. Now, no longer is the hull shape driven so much by getting stability, because we're going to start getting our righting moment, our stability, to resist the boat falling over from the foils. So this means that our hull can be narrower and can be of a lower drag, and that has completely changed the way that the shape of the hull of our boat is designed. So most of our boat is made from carbon, most of the structure is carbon, most of the components are carbon, and we choose to use carbon because it is fantastically light and it's a fantastically stiff material. But one thing that's not widely communicated or understood is it's not just that it's fantastically light as a raw material, but it's that we can manipulate its properties in layers. Rather than having something which is always strong in all directions, we're manipulating it to be just strong in direction, a load path for what we need. And that makes it fundamentally a really great material to work with for what we're doing. Integrating the Boss logo into the hull is really just a testament to Jason Carrington and his build team's skill to do that.
We got a big stencil and we cut the logo out, and then we applied this homemade silver pre-preg to the surface, and then we just carried on building the boat, and we really didn't know what it was going to look like until we released it out of the mould. It was done, and it was either going to work or it wasn't, but actually it came out really nice.
So this hull is now got what's a foam core, so we don't mean like soft squidgy foam like you'd have in a sofa, we mean quite a advanced closed cell foam that itself is quite stiff, and that means that when the boat is coming off waves and slamming, the structure it's being absorbed, that energy is being absorbed better into the structure, rather than with just a carbon structure. It's really stiff and you're just jarring the structure all the time. This allows us to absorb that energy a lot better. The hull structure is tailored, so the front end is foam core, and as you move further aft it becomes Nomex, a honeycomb construction, which is stiffer, more brittle, which is why it's not suitable for the bow of the boat, but it's very suitable for the back end of the boat.
The first thing we're on to the designers too is, when are we going to get the hull lines? Once the hull lines arrive, we then need to make a tool for that. So whether it's a bit like making a cake, you need a mould. While that's going on, we're ordering all the material we need to build the hull, the deck, all the structure and so on. The tooling for a boat like this, generally it's about 3 months period. So in that 3 months, we'll probably start making some bulkheads as drawings arrive. Those drawings arrive, going to Tara, she does the process sheets, and then the information goes out and we start making all these bits on flat tables. And then the hull mould arrives, rocks up on a truck, comes in the shed, we apply a release to it, like a Teflon film, so the boat doesn't stick in the mould, and then we start laminating that hull. So we just have this sort of shell that then needs all the structure to go in. Building the tool, building the hull, building the deck, building the bulkheads is pretty accurate. Normally, we know how long that takes, but once you put the lid on, it all gets a whole lot more complicated, because there's all these systems, steering systems, charging systems, foil integration, all that has to come together, and that's a much harder thing to judge how long it's going to take. Everything on that boat is custom made, custom designed, custom made, everything. There's nothing that's not really, which is amazing. There's not many industries where you find that.